Welcome to Cooped Up episode 12. This week we're going to be talking about Pat Moss, some news, and sharing our social picks. I'm Nick, and you can find me on the mini vlog on YouTube and Instagram. And with me, as always, is Ethan.
And you can find me at Car Creations on both Instagram and YouTube.
Cool. And Ethan, you're going to tell us a little bit about Pat Moss. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Cool. Take it away.
All right. So here we have in the driving spot here, her name was Pat Moss. And this is when she was racing in the Netherlands Tulip Rally. And this was the first rally in that Mini Cooper won. And it was kind of cool here because it was driven by a woman, and the co-driver was also a woman who was pregnant at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. So I kind of looked up about her and kind of got some of her history. And so she was born in 1934 and died in 2008. And was pretty successful in her rallying career with 3 wins and 7 podium finishes, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And because of that, she was crowned the European Ladies Rally Champion 5 times.
Wow.
So she was quite famous in Europe. And racing ran in the family's blood too, I guess, because her father was the British car racing driver named Alfred Moss, and then her brother was the famous Formula One star Sterling Moss.
Oh, wow.
So quite famous.
Quite a family there.
Yeah. And her brother actually taught her how to drive when she was 11, and so quite young. And then once again, racing, she married another rally driver named Eric Carlson. So quite the family. But although a automotive hero, she didn't actually start with cars. Her first passion was horses, funny enough, similar to myself.
Nice.
And she started by show jumping for 17 years.
Nice.
So
how old was she when she did her first rally, her car rally? Do you know?
I couldn't find that. I did look, but I couldn't find that. Yeah. I think they might have overlapped a little bit when she did.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is a picture of that Netherlands Tulip Rally where she did win with Mini. But she did race in many other famous rallies. So the Monte Carlo, which later became famous with Minis as well. Tour de Corse, I don't know how to say that in French. And many other famous rallies like that. And then she raced more than just Mini too. So she raced the different Austin Healey's, Ford Cortana, and then Alpines. But obviously the Mini was the one we're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this race was in 1962. So that's 1 year after the actual Mini Cooper itself was born. And like I said before, her co-driver, Anne Wisdom, pregnant at the time, was her co-driver there. And they raced to victory in this Tulip Rally.
Now, do you know back then, what did the co-driver do? Did they also drive as well, or were they more of a navigator?
I believe they read off one of those sheets where they basically, navigator, basically, yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they would also help if something went wrong with the car.
Right. That's awesome. So the first actual Mini rally victory was won by these two.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why don't they have their own version of the Mini? Why isn't there a Pat Moss version of Mini Cooper?
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. We need to write a letter to somebody. That happened.
Yeah. And I believe from what I was reading, if I understand it correctly, the car they drove was specifically tuned by John Cooper. So
Awesome.
one of the early John Cooper works.
Yeah.
And what he basically did on it, he tuned suspension and basically worked with the handling. And she had a quote here. She called it twitchy and pretty much unruly when you get to the limit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Man. I mean, I don't know if many of these, I'm sure the race versions of these Coopers probably didn't have heaters and air conditioners, and it looks like some of those rally stages looked pretty uncomfortable in there.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Oh man. And this is before the roll down windows existed, so you had that little sliding triangle that you could open up. It gotta be tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would have been cool to talk to her. Too bad she.
Yeah. Man, yeah, she needs to be more famous in the mini world for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is her code, for co-drivers still alive?
I didn't look that up. That'd be interesting. I know. It'd be interesting to find out the kid that she was pregnant with during that.
Yeah, I hope he's a rally driver of some sort now too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope he was named Cooper.
No, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, basically after that she retired, went back to horse jumping, and then her daughter actually went to be a professional show jumper.
Wow.
Didn't follow the driving bloodline, but that's okay. We'll have to forgive her. And yeah, that's basically the story of the first mini rally win.
Wow. I never knew that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pat Moss. Nice. All right. So let's with that end of the story, let's go on to some news. You may have seen this already, but remember the Mini Vision Urbanaut, the minivan that was rendered, in 2020, late last year. Well, Mini and BMW decided to make it an actual physical car so that people could visually see their ideas and recycled materials and vision in person. So that's exactly what they did. They went and they built the Vision Urbanaut into an actual physical thing.
I'm very split in my feelings about it. From the one side, as a Mini owner, I dare I say hate it. But as what's his name? Unbox Therapy on Lou Later did I watched that, and when he was going over some of more of a tech side of it, the tech side of me actually was like, oh, that could be kind of cool, kind of minimalist.
Yeah.
Far future when all cars are boring.
Yeah.
So yes,
I think I have a very similar feeling. I think it's a great showcase of technology that they can incorporate into future vehicles and showing off the recycled materials. But for them to actually build this actual vehicle, I'm not crazy about. It's a van. It's a mini van. But yeah, it's an actual thing now. So if you're somewhere in Germany, which I think is where they've been showing it off, you can check it out. I imagine it'll be at BMW World, BMW headquarters there. But
yeah, if you see it, take a picture and tell us what you think.
Yes, please let us know if you've seen it in real life and share it with us. Maybe it'll be a social pick of the week in a future episode. Yeah. In other news, I get a lot of junk mail. Not junk mail. I get a lot of mail lately from this company called Sirius XM telling me that my free trial is about to expire because I bought the GP a little over a year ago and it had Sirius, and I never used it. I knew it was there, but I'm not one of those people that uses Sirius. I usually just play music from my phone if I'm going on a road trip, and I don't have to commute to work in that car because I work from home. And so yeah, I thought it was funny that I started to get the, your please come back, please renew your subscription. And I never once launched Sirius in the car. But with that being said, it's now a standard feature in all 2022 models, and will probably be a standard feature until 2026 when the contract between Sirius and BMW/Mini expires.
Wow.
So yeah, Sirius XM is now in all 2022 models. You get it for a year, and after that, you'll start to receive a lot of paper mail, them begging you to renew. And the longer you hold out, the cheaper the price gets.
I had the exact same experience with my Clubman.
Yeah.
But that actually does make sense that they include and everything, because from my experience with upgrading people's head units, every single one can be a little bit different. And because of that, if they're having semiconductor chip issues and shortages, it makes more sense to standardize all the head units and have the same one in every car.
Yeah. So. And BMW said that they wanted to cut costs like 25% across the board for manufacturing. Why not simplify the amount of parts that go into the car that you have to make for the car? Yeah, the same head unit, make it the same. They have made it the same 8.8 inch, touchscreen for everything. And yeah, just make it one head unit so you don't have to do that. And use the software if you need to limit it for the basic models if you absolutely have to. I mean, I'd really love to see all the cars have all the tech, but
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Teslas have all the tech, might as well. I feel like that should be a part of the car, and then the option should be the performance of the car.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Mini should be much more high tech than I think they actually are. And
you think they have Android Auto?
Oh no. Oh my gosh. I ask about that every single time I talk to anybody from Mini. It's like, can you give me a date? When's it happening? I know it's a complicated problem. Like, it's a hard thing to do, but you guys are smart. What are you dragging your feet on? But one day, 2024.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. All right, some other news. Not surprisingly, I guess, the Q2 sales results have come out for Mini and BMW. And I don't think that the cars have gotten that much more popular, but I think we're getting closer to the end of the pandemic, hopefully. And as a result, sales have shot up significantly. Nice. BMW overall has shot up 89% compared to this time last year. And Mini has shot up 76% overall. So that's, just shy of 10,000 vehicles for Q2 2021 versus 5,000-ish last year. So that's a great sign that there's some recovery to the auto industry as a whole.
I wonder if the facelifted models had anything to do with that.
I was going to say, perhaps the LCI2 convinced some folks to take the plunge. I would like to see how many of those sales are the electric Cooper. Because I know that they were hard to come by because they were all being sold as soon as they were bought. Just basically being custom ordered rather than having anything on the lot. So I'd really like to see their numbers. I think they might have been hindered by the availability, but good news overall for new cars, and the used market is up 57%. So that's doing good as well, which kind of explains, I don't know if you've been, I think you've from your videos, you've been to the Mini dealership lately, but down here, there's just nothing. They have like 2 or 3 cars and they just sell so quickly. And every time I go, there's, completely new set of cars there. So it's hard for them to keep things on the lot, new and used at the moment. It's probably hard for them to get things onto the lot to begin with, but.
Well, even just private sales. I looked the other day and there's currently an entire area of BC, which is, I see some Auto Trader is more than 1,000 kilometers around me. I think I only saw 4 JCW like F56.
Yeah, I've been looking. My buddy is potentially considering a Countryman, and he really wants to buy mine off me. And I keep telling him no. But so I'm like, yeah, let me help you find some Countrymans. And here, the used Countryman market is huge. Like my car that I bought 3 years ago is worth probably 5,000 more than when I bought it. 3 years ago. All the used Countrymans have shot up in price, and there's really not many out there. So yeah, we're talking like 9-year-old Countrymen selling for 15, 17, 18,000. So yeah, it's used car market right now is a little nuts.
My white one I sold for $8,000 Canadian.
Yeah.
Like a year
ago. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, sales are up, which is a good sign. So hopefully they stay up and continue to grow, especially with the new G series coming.
Yes.
Someday. All right, that's the news. Let's pivot over to our social picks of the week. It's kind of 2 or 3 picks, but they're all related. And I'll share the Instagram pictures so that you can get an idea of what the YouTube video series might be about. There's a couple of YouTube videos, but we have this lifted Cooper, and it just looks awesome. They did a really good job building it out. They lifted it, I want to say like somewhere between 3 and 6 inches. I don't remember from the video, but lifted it, built a bumper, put on a roof rack. They fabricated all this stuff in house. Welded their roof rack, welded their bumper, and bought a lift kit for the Cooper. Somebody makes a lift kit for this. Put on some big tires and took it to a little rally called the Gambler 500. So it's actually super cool build, which you can watch on YouTube as well. It's called Dirt Lifestyles, the channel, and you can watch them take the base model that they bought for like $1,000 and just build it into this really cool little off-road Cooper. And I won't spoil it, but you should watch and see what happens in the end, if it survives or not. But yeah, it was a really fun build to watch, and it looks really cool, and it makes me want to go find a used, first gen Cooper. However, as we were just mentioning in the news, the used car market is crazy. So I'm looking at some, and there's none for $1,000. So he got pretty lucky on finding that. At least there's none around me for $1,000. They're all what I would say overpriced at the moment. But yeah, it was a really cool build, really fun series to watch. So go check it out if you have some spare time or it's a rainy day wherever you are.
It's cool.
Yeah, I really like the looks too. It looks awesome. Yeah. I'm sure yours will look just as awesome too once you put those lights on.
Tires. I'm jealous of those tires. That's my biggest issue right now.
Yeah. What about you? What is your pick of the week?
Yeah, so I just loved the way he put the decals on this thing. Like sometimes you can overdo it, but I just thought he did a really good job. It's a little spec.
What do you know the name of this one that cuts through the headlights? I feel like there's a name for it.
Yeah, I feel like it should be.
I love that. That's really cool though. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's a cool build. Like it when people can, mod their car with like decals and stripes and stuff, because it's pretty cheap, but you can really change the look of your car and make it unique. All about minis.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, this is tastefully done too. It's not overdone. Not too much stuff going on. Just enough. Oh my gosh, I just read the caption. Can't believe I put this up for sale last year. So glad I didn't sell it in the end. I'm glad he didn't sell it too. That's awesome. So yeah, that's going to be it for this week's episode. And we'll leave you with where you can find us and what we have coming up on our channels this week. So Ethan, why don't you go ahead and tell us where we can find you and what you have coming up?
Sure, sounds good. So you can find me on Instagram, Car Creations YT, and then on YouTube, Car Creations. And this week, we're just going to show a whole bunch of different minis and BMWs that we saw on a recent trip down to Mini Richmond, and as well as some of the crazy forest fires and police stuff that we got in trouble with while we were down there.
Wow. So yeah, cool. A road trip vlog coming up from you. That sounds really awesome. And you can find me as the mini vlog on YouTube and Instagram. And this week I will have part 2 of the mini sign that I acquired and am rewiring, and it'll be the mounting and first light up of that sign. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. I think we did. That was like one of the first ones, right? Turn signals.
Oh, right, yeah.
Don't be a BMW driver.